Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. On Fridays, we talk about the product owner role in Scrum. We talk about patterns and anti-patterns that relate to ours and the team's collaboration with the product owner. And we've also put together a course to help you navigate that relationship. There's 18 modules, nearly 8 hours of tools, techniques, videos, handouts, presentations you can use to help you and your team work better with your product owner. The course is available at bit.ly/coach-your-PO. All lowercase, all one word. That's bit.ly/coach-your-PO. And now, on to the show, the Product Owner Show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our TGIF Product Owner episode this week with Kyla MacDonald. Hi, Kyla. Welcome back.
Hi, thanks. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. Indeed, TGIF, as they say. We talk product owners today. And of course, we do that because we understand that the relationship between Scrum Master and product owner is one of those that can help the team succeed and evolve, or of course it can become an obstacle, a problem for the team to succeed and evolve. So on Fridays, we want to talk about what are good examples. We'll start with a bad example, though, so that we can end up on a high later. So share with us, Kyla, what is potentially the worst product owner anti-pattern you've witnessed in your career?
There are a couple of things that I've seen. The biggest one is the absent product owner. So not having any vision, not being available. But aside from that, was the assumption that this Agile thing, and I'm doing air quotes, this Agile thing is going to solve all the problems. And so blaming Agile when things aren't working. There are a couple of things. I guess also the assumption. I'm thinking about one person in particular, but the assumption that the changes in the way we work are going to apply to the team, but I don't need to change at all. That sort of thing. So what I saw. This was a long time ago, but what I saw was no vision, no direction setting, no guidance, and a lot of blame. And in that case, myself and another Scrum Master sat down with the product owner to talk through, and it was actually the other Scrum Master. It was really great. He was just sitting there really confused, and he was saying, "But this has nothing to do with Agile. The things that you're complaining about, they're nothing to do with Agile. If you're not around, how are you sharing what the goals are?" And the product owner just sat there and went, "Oh, huh, okay." And we were working with the vendor at the time, and he was saying, "Well, you seem to be upset with the vendor for delays and not delivering. Why do you think they're going to deliver anything when they don't know what to deliver when you're not around?" So it was really it was kind of amusing that it was kind of eye-opening, but also there was a little bit of a sort of again in air quotes, this Agile thing. It's not going to solve all your problems. It's going to help you see them so you can solve them. You still have to do the work. There is no magic thing that is just going to make all your problems go away, and it can be it can be really hard. But at least now you can see them, and you can have a look at what the next problem is that you want to tackle.
Absolutely. When you mentioned the absent PO not having a vision and not being available, this is indeed one of the anti-patterns that we've heard quite often here on the podcast. I've heard it myself, and I've seen it in action many times. So for us as Scrum Masters, it's really, really important to have some good tools in our toolbox to help product managers that are at the starting point absent. So what do you do these days, Kyla, when you face a situation like that?
I have. I worked with an amazing coach a little while ago who shared vision to backlog is what she calls it, process, and really talk people through motivating how to motivate the team. We often start with what's the backlog? How do I populate the backlog? And that's actually not where you want to start. What you want to start with an emotion. Wouldn't it be amazing if our customers blah blah blah, or if people just something amazing. For me, it's like, wouldn't it be amazing if everyone, on when they went out for Friday night drinks, they were talking about work and how awesome it was and how fun it was and the things that we tried and the people we spoke to. And then you move into, okay, well, what is the problem? What are you trying to solve? What does the customer say? And then move into, right, okay, now what is the experience that you want to create here, and why, and how is the customer's experience changing? Get into that a little bit more, and then you can start talking about the solution. What are the pain points? What are the opportunities? And then you can start talking about the backlog, and there you have your list of things to be done. So it doesn't necessarily change the PO being absent, but it gives them the perspective that this is not just for you to set tasks. This is, there is a process that we expect product owners to kind of follow, and when you're able to I guess share with product owners what a great kind of journey they can take people on, then it kind of helps them to see why being absent is a problem.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
how it can impact delivery.
Yeah, so it is really about sharing that. Well, you called it vision. I think that's a very appropriate word. The vision that leads the team to want to go on that journey with the product owner.
Exactly. And it ties them closer together. I think very often when we have, well, there are a lot of reasons for absent product owners, not least of which is very often it's a part-time, it's a side gig for them. But we very often focus on the work that's enjoyable for us. And so very often, if it is a side gig for a product owner, if they've got a really good thing going on with the team, and they understand each other, then they'll be more drawn to spend more time there.
Absolutely. And of course, the next part of this PO episode is exactly that. So what does that look like? What does a PO that is able to take the team on that journey look like? What's potentially the best product owner you've ever worked with? How did they work?
I have had the great fortune to work with a lot of great product owners, but there's one that stands out, and it's actually, I didn't even plan for this, but it ties into what I was just saying. That what he did that I found really impressive is the team created their purpose, and he shared that purpose over and over and over every day, in almost every conversation, in the exact same language every time. It was printed out in their working space. So everyone who walked by saw it. Every team member saw it all the time. And having that consistency was amazing, I think, for me, for new team members who joined, for team members every day who always knew what they were doing. They knew kind of why they were there, what the impact they were going to have would be. And it kind of helped them kind of, I guess, guide their decision making. So that was the most powerful thing that stood out for me. Two other things though that the product owner did was really a great job in making sure that all the voices were heard. So checking in with the quieter voices, and really pulling in different perspectives. And the other thing was role modeling experimentation. So being very open to, hey, what if we tried this? How could we do this? Those sorts of behaviors and questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that you talked about that I want to explore a little bit more is this purpose focus that the PO had. So you said the team created their purpose, and then the PO helped and shared that purpose, every day in multiple ways. How did that happen? Like, how did you get to that point, and was the PO part of that conversation?
Yeah. The PO was part of creating that purpose. was actually 100% dedicated to the team. And we were really fortunate. I don't know about you, but I've worked with a number of teams where the product owner is either across multiple teams or
very common.
has a day job, and this is a side thing. In this case, it was 100% dedicated, and the product owner cared passionately about this, and that really came across. Actually, the original team that created that purpose ended up, a lot of team members left, new team members came in, but they would always check in. This is our purpose, and they came along a sort of journey of understanding. How did the team come to this? Come to this? How does it show up? What does it mean for us? What does it mean for our customers? What does it mean for the community, the business, all of those sorts of things?
So the purpose was also connected with the wider environment they were part of.
Absolutely. So there was definitely it wasn't even a dotted line; it was a solid line. This is why we're here. This is how it fits with the the broader business unit. This is how it fits with the organization, and this is how it fits with the company purpose.
Absolutely. Well, a great story and really inspiring. Also highlights one aspect that often we forget is that the PO being involved with the team is hopefully by now, thanks to the new Scrum guide, the PO is no longer an external part of the team. The PO is considered a full-time member of the team, which then hopefully also highlights why it is so critical for the PO to be present and not absent, to be full-time dedicated to the product. That might mean several teams, but at least to the product, and not as a side job or a third or fourth job that is given out to someone who just happens to know a little bit about the product.
Yeah. And all of the best teams that I've worked with, and when I say best, I'm talking about great delivery, but also just amazing teams to work with, and supporting each other and enjoying work and delivering great things and keen to be there. They all had POs who exhibited those characteristics.
Absolutely. Kyla, unfortunately, we're getting close to the end of this week with you, but before we do go, share with us, where can we find out more about you and the work that you're doing?
You can find me on LinkedIn, and Kyla MacDonald. And I also have a website, a blog that I publish infrequently, and maybe if I share that with you, it'll give me the little push that I need to
all right,
to write a little bit more. It's thenextclimb.com.
thenextclimb.com. Absolutely. We'll put the link on the show notes, make sure everybody can find it and connect with you also on LinkedIn. Kyla, it's been a pleasure. So thank you very much for your generosity with your time and your knowledge.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great having these discussions because it's got me really thinking about some of the successes and failures, and reflecting on some of the things that I ought to be focusing on, and how I can support my teams better. So thank you.
Absolutely. Reflection, or talking about our story, is also a very effective way to reflect on it. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
One more week of the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast is over, but there's a lot more we have to share. We have developed our own membership site where you find a community of active and engaged Scrum Masters. In this site, you get access to exclusive content and get to interact with us, your podcast hosts, as well as the best Scrum Masters in the world. Join us at scrummastertoolbox.com/podcast and keep this podcast free of advertising. See you next week for one more week full of Scrum Master tips and tricks. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.